What's up, everybody? It's the Common Sense Investor coming at you with another video. Whew, it seems like it's been forever since I've said that, huh? But I just could not stand to come over to this channel, click on subscriptions, and watch people and listen to people bash Adam, Aaron the way they were doing instead of stopping and looking and seeing if they can determine what his plan could be. Now, I'm not going to get too deep into the three proposals. I've already watched a couple of YouTubers talk about them. I don't feel like they've done a very good job. One of them hates AMC shareholders so much he can taste our blood in his fucking mouth. It's ridiculous the way he runs us down. All right, but there's nothing going on with his stock, so he has nothing else to talk about and nothing to make views on. But he did a really piss poor job of trying to interpret this, because if he likes to watch my videos and talk shit about me instead of learning something from me, when he could have watched my video on corporate election fraud, and he would know that's exactly what we're dealing with right here with this proposal. Now, like I said, I'm not going to get into the three proposals. They're right here. I'll put the link in the description if I can remember. But I want you to take a look at something here. He says, your vote is very important, regardless of the number of shares of common stock and or Series A preferred stock, or APEs representing such shares of Series A preferred stock you own. Regardless of whether you plan to attend a special meeting, it is important that your shares of common and or senior A preferred stock be represented and voted at the special meeting. And we hope you will vote as soon as possible. All right. You may vote by submitting a proxy over the internet, or by telephone, or by mailing the enclosed proxy or voting instructions card pursuant to the instructions provided, accompanying proxy statements. All right. We're still talking about who can vote here. We come on down a couple more paragraphs and we see only those holders of record of shares of common stock and Series A preferred stock at the close of business on February 8th, 2023, the record date of the special meeting, will be entitled to vote at the special meeting and any adjournment or postponement thereof. If you have any questions regarding the accompanying proxy statement, you can visit them. All right. Let's go on down a little more, because he's going to talk more about the voting. It says here, the proxy statement is being first being mailed to holders of common stock and Series A preferred stock beginning on or about February, not sure. Expect it in February. The cost of the proxy solicitation will be borne by the company. Okay? So it's going to be February when we get our proxy statements. How will it work? It says here, after delivery of shares of common stock by the transfer agent to the depositary following conversion of the Series A preferred stock, after APE has been converted, they're going to give the shares to the depository, will distribute the proportional number of shares of common stock to the holders of APEs by book entry transfer through the depository trust company, or such holders' interests are held through the book entry settlement system of the depository by book entry settlement, by book entry transfer through the depository. For such numbers of shares of common stock, the depository will not deliver fractional shares. Who may vote at the special meeting? This is where it gets good. Only holders of record of shares of common stock and Series A preferred stock at the close of business on February 8th, 2023, are entitled to notice of and to vote at the special meeting. If your shares are held in an account at a brokerage firm, bank, broker-dealer, or other organization, that you are the beneficial owner of the shares held in street name, and these proxy materials were forwarded to you by that organization. The organization holding your account is considered the stockholder of record for the purposes of voting at the special meeting. Don't panic. Listen, as a beneficial owner, you have the right to instruct that organization on how to vote the shares held in your account. Okay? if you are a registered holder of the ape on the books of the depository as of the record date, then you may provide instructions to the depository as to how to vote the shares of the Series A preferred stock underlying your apes on the issue set forth in this proxy statement. The depository will mail you a proxy card if you hold ape in your own name in the depository shareholder, that's DRS people. If, however, on the record date you held your apes through a bank, a broker, a custodian, or other nominee agents, it is anticipated that such bank, broker, custodian, or nominee agent will forward voting instructions forms to you. As of the close of business on February 8th, there were 517,580,416 shares of the common issued and outstanding held by X amount of holders of record. 9,298,000 shares of Series A's were outstanding, of which 100% were represented by apes held by holders of record. Alright, it's all going to make sense to you in just a few moments on what's going on here when I read this next paragraph. But what you need to understand right now is, and like I've told y'all from the beginning, alright, we are beneficial owners of the stock. It is in street name to us, but the brokers themselves own the stock. Now, what's going on here is Aron is telling them in this proxy statement that if you are the shareholder of record, i.e. the broker, all right, and you sold that share, then the vote goes to the person you sold the share to, all right, in street name. That's you and that's me, all right. Now let's go on just a little bit further and you're going to see what's going on. What if I do not specify how my shares are to be voted or fail to provide timely directions for bank or nominee? If you are a shareholder of record, shares registered in your name, that's your DRS crew. If you are a stockholder of record and you submit a proxy but you do not provide voting instructions, your shares will be voted for the share increase proposal, the reverse stock split proposal, and the adjournment proposal. Now, that's only if you have DRS'd your shares. All right? When you send in your proxy card to enter the meeting and you do not fill out what you want to vote, then that vote, if you are a DRS person, will go for the for vote. Okay? Now, let's keep going. Beneficial owners of shares of common stock, shares registered in the name of the broker, bank, or other nominee. If you are a beneficial owner, which we are, and hold your shares of common stock in street name, which we do, and do not provide your bank, broker, or other nominee that hold your shares of common stock with voting instructions, the bank, broker, or other nominee will determine if it has the discretionary authority to vote on the particular matter. Under the rules, and here it comes, under the rules of the New York Stock Exchange, brokers may not vote on non-routine proposals unless they have received voting instructions from the beneficial owner. Okay? That is an important sentence in this whole proxy statement, people. What that means is, if you have shares in a broker and you do not give them voting instructions, then they can look for a way to vote on your behalf. But it says that according to the New York Stock Exchange rules, broker-dealers, banks, and so forth who hold the stock and they're out for beneficial ownership on the white paper, then you don't get to vote on non-routine proposals, banks, brokers, and other nominees. We have to determine now what is a non-routine proposal and what is a routine proposal, because that's where the trap came in. All right? Here you see he says it again. What is the effect of a broker Non-vote. Brokers, banks, and other nominees who hold shares of our common stock and Series A preferred stock for a beneficial owner have the discretion to vote on routine proposals when they have not received voting instructions. So that's why it's important. You have to send your voting instructions when you get your voting card. All right? A broker non-vote occurs when a broker, bank, or other nominee does not receive voting instructions from the beneficial owner and does not have the discretion to direct the voting of the shares. In other words, you didn't tell them which way to vote. They have no idea which way to vote, so they cannot vote on your behalf. Now, just real quick, I want to listen to a clip from Patrick Byrne, which was the CEO of Overstock when he was fighting the shorts, okay? And he had something very important to say concerning when you fight the shorts, this is what you're really fighting. So let's listen to that. We'll wrap this thing up, and you'll have a complete understanding, all right? Here we go.
What happened, and what seems to have happened, is some hedge funds have figured out how to manipulate this loophole and inject hundreds of millions or even billions of these, what are in fact fake shares, into the market. Now, it creates three effects, it's three problems: a small, medium, and a large problem. The small problem is it's ruined corporate democracy. And there was an article by Bob Drummond in Bloomberg Markets magazine mid last year that's called The Corporate Voting Charade, where he has people on the record in the back offices of Wall Street, the transfer agents who actually count votes, that say, with quotes like, "This is positively criminal. We regularly do not have any idea who's entitled to vote and who isn't. We regularly get 2 to 3 times as many votes as there are shares." Now, as crazy as all that sounds, the New York Stock Exchange did a study on 341 elections, found overvoting in all 341.
So what Patrick Byrne was saying was, although it was a small problem then, it's grown into a big problem now. And like I shared with y'all about 9 weeks ago, the SEC was cracking down on this shit right here. And here we see this proxy statement. Some people are going to want to argue and say, this is just cookie cutter shit. No, it's not. Some of it is cookie cutter, and a lot of it here that he's added in, such as this. Watch what they can vote on. If you are a beneficial owner and hold your shares of common stock in street name and do not provide your bank, broker, or other nominee that holds your shares of common stock with voting instructions, the bank, broker, or other nominees will determine if it has the discretionary authority to vote on the particular matter. Under the rules of the New York Stock Exchange, brokers may not vote on non-routine proposals. Brokers may not vote on non-routine proposals for you or for me. But if it's a routine proposal, they can. And look what it says next. It is expected that all proposals be voted on at the special meeting will be treated as non-routine matters. So, with that one sentence, he just summed up what they can and what they can't do. All right. Now, they'll be able to vote on a routine matter, which is to bring the meeting to order. They'll be able to vote for the quorum, or they can vote for the adjournment. But the proposals themselves are non-routine matters. And if they have not got instructions from the shareholder, they cannot vote on the proposals. Only the start of the meeting and the adjournment of the meeting. When it gets time for the proposals, they have to sit on the sidelines, people, and wait for our votes to come in. Now, one more thing I'm going to point out, and then we're gone.
Common shares are the same thing.
Okay.
And there's no explanation. But the market is priced the ape at 1/7 of the common share. And they're the same thing. So we're giving them away at 1/7 of where we should. So it makes it so we gotta put them back together.
I'm seeing, take me for granted, and you know I'm leaving. I'ma take what's mine with the webs I'm weaving. I could take this crowd from seeing to believing. Got a taste for blood and my tongue keeps bleeding from the words I spit, so sharp, so free.